And hello and good morning. I'm David Boles. This is Boles.tv, and we are here Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And if you are a regular viewer or an irregular viewer of this broadcast, you may notice that we have a slightly different look and feel here. We've changed our camera, and I don't know if my words are going with the sync of the video, and that is why I'm now going to test this by turning off my microphone and turning up the sound on my television so I can see if this. I think it worked. Let me try one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it's okay. For now, we're going to call it okay. So over the weekend, I think it's okay. For now, we're going to call it okay. Turn down the television. So over the weekend, I think it's okay. Turn down the television. Oh my. That's the joys of live streaming. You never know what's going to happen. Your remote is your best friend. And your worst enemy. So over the weekend, the delightful Jana Marie was here at 11 a.m. Eastern doing her show. Saturday show, perfect. Sunday show started off great for about the first 20 minutes, and then she just started glitching. And we have a new computer, so CPU was good. We were not losing one frame. We had full 60 frames per second. Our upload was great. Didn't make sense to me. So we stopped the stream. We restarted the stream. Same thing. Didn't work. Glitching. I couldn't figure out what it was, why this was happening. So we stopped again. And luckily, everyone who was in our stream was very patient and understood what was happening and going on and said, okay, back. So the third time we restarted her stream, I decided before we restarted it to just see how it looks here offline. And sure enough, boom, bring the camera, not online, glitching. Well, that means it's not the internet. That means it's not Twitch. It's not the broadcast. There's something going on locally. So I was just lucky that I had a second camera already set up. So I went to the second camera, which is the camera you're seeing right now, which is a Logitech Brio Ultra HD, and tested it. Oh my gosh, smooth, silky. Went back to our Elgato face cam, which gets very bright and burns out my skin. Glitching. So I thought, looks like we have a camera problem. So I swapped out the Elgato for the Brio as the main camera and tested it with our scenes. How does it look? Perfect. No glitching. Now, sometimes you see the scene will shift a little bit because that's the autofocus going in and out. And when you're using sign language, you kind of have to stay in the same area here like this. Because if you go back and forth too much, which was natural for sign language, sometimes it freaks out the camera. But today it's behaving rather well, I must say. It's not freaking out too poorly. So we swapped cameras. Went back live, started the live stream again, and it worked. And everything was going great. And that's slightly depressing because the Elgato face cam is supposed to be a really good camera, and obviously there's something wrong with it. It's not performing as it's supposed to be. So I don't know if you send it back, if you get a new one. Oy. And Elgato's a good brand. We use their lights. We have the lights on right now. Gives us a nice even tone and color. So that was the excitement for the weekend, trying to figure out what is going on. As you can see, I have a delightful new haircut. Now, as I have told you many times in this live stream, I always ask my professional barber, cut out the gray, leave the brown. And every subsequent haircut that I get, and I don't get them very often, my barber has chosen to progressively leave more gray and cut out more of the brown, distressing me to no end. And it's not funny, it's not aging, it is only the terror of growing older. So, it doesn't look that bad. It looks great, actually, except for the non-brown version. But you really know when you get older when your eyebrows start turning. And okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white. Pull it right now. And then they grow back really fast. Faster than your regular colored hair. Or your eyebrows. So here's some big news that broke over the weekend. And we have a slightly new setup when we go to our news page. I'm in a little smaller box. And then I can type in right here, Keto danger. Put that in chat, right? And then I can pin it. And we have a topic right above. Isn't that lovely? Breaking news from the front of the news empire. While the popular high-fat, zero-carb ketogenic diet, or keto diet, is thought to help treat cancer, new results from a new animal study suggest just the opposite. In mice with ovarian cancer, the keto diet significantly increased tumor growth and altered the composition of the gut microbiome. Findings were presented at the Hybrid Society of Gynecologic Oncology 2022 annual meeting. In the study, mice with ovarian tumors were fed one of 3 diets: a keto diet, a high-fat diet that included some carbohydrates, or a control diet that was low in fat and high in carbs. Over the course of the study, tumors in mice on the keto diet group grew more than 9 times larger, compared with about 2 times larger for the high-fat group and 3 times larger for the control group. The keto diet was associated with gene expression changes that enhanced inflammation, angiogenesis, new blood vessel formation, and other hallmarks of cancer progression. The keto diet is very popular, especially among patients who believe it may treat cancer by starving tumors of the fuel they need to grow, altering the immune system and other anti-cancer effects. While we don't know yet whether these findings extend to patients, the results in animals indicate that instead of being protective, the keto diet appears to promote ovarian cancer growth and progression. There are going to be a lot of heartbroken people when they learn this. The same study also found the keto diet led to greater changes in the composition of gut microbiomes of the tumor-bearing mice, in terms of both the diversity and abundances of various bacterial species than the high-fat and control diets. The microbiome is thought to play a role in many diseases through its interactions with different signaling pathways. Our findings highlight a possible connection between changes in the gut microbiome and greater tumor progression in mice fed keto diet. So, oh boy, look out if you're on that diet, because maybe it's coming to you and for you in a really bad way. Now, keto diet is short for ketosis. Now, ketosis has to do with diabetes in some ways. So you have to realize when you're on that diet and you're eating basically cheese and meat, and you're not getting a lot of vegetables or fruit or any carbs or sugar, you have to realize what you're doing to your body. Ketosis is a process that happens when your body doesn't have enough carbohydrates to burn for energy. Instead, it burns fat and makes things called ketones, which it can use for fuel. Ketosis is a word you'll probably see when you're looking for information on diabetes or weight loss. I have a friend of mine in Florida who told me he was about 30 pounds overweight, and he didn't change his diet, he didn't exercise, but magically over about 6 weeks, every week he lost some pounds. And at the end of about 6 weeks, he had lost 30 pounds and was very thin, feeling very powerful. Went to the doctor for just a regular checkup. And the doctor said, "You are severely diabetic. Did you know that?" And the guy said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, my first clue before we did the blood work was that you lost 30 pounds in a very short period of time, and you weren't dieting, you didn't change your behavior, you didn't do anything. It's just your body in space and time losing 30 pounds. That is not normal, that is not ordinary, that is not good for you, and it is a classic sign of diabetes." So my friend, for about 6 weeks, was in a severe state of ketosis. Now, why some people actively choose to place their bodies in ketosis to lose weight, it's perhaps a sign of desperation or being uninformed. What are the signs of ketosis? So if you have diabetes or if you're losing weight, this is what your body does. You're tired and you're fatigued. You have bad breath. You have dry mouth. You're thirsty. You don't urinate very much. You have you change in your poopy time. You either have diarrhea or you have constipation. You have no appetite and you are not hungry. Now, to me, that's more diabetic than it is ketosis-centered. And I have a lot of friends who are on this keto diet, and they're losing weight, but I don't know if they know what they're doing to their body in the long run. How much weight can you lose in ketosis? You can change your body's level of ketones to determine whether or not you're in ketosis. During this fat-burning stage, you can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. You'll also begin to feel less hungry in this stage because the fat you're consuming will make you feel more full. Can you be in ketosis without losing weight? Well, usually when a person does not lose weight on the keto diet, it is because they have not achieved ketosis. The most common reason for not getting into ketosis is not cutting back on enough carbs. And carbs are all the fun things. Donuts, sandwiches, bread, pasta. Anything with a little bit of sugar or wheat in it is going to be a carb. According to a 2019 article on the ketogenic diet, carbohydrates should represent only 5 to 10% of a person's caloric intake. And people who they have breakfast, and the only thing they have for breakfast is a donut. 5 donuts. Eating pure carbs and pure sugar, and they wonder why they're not losing weight. Will ketosis burn belly fat? Interestingly, a ketogenic diet is a very effective way to lose belly fat, and that's what happened to my friend in Florida. He had 30 pounds on his gut, and it was all gone, and he was so happy. He found out he was diabetic. As shown in the graph, a ketogenic diet reduced weight, total body fat, and abdominal trunk fat more than lowered. Can I lose 20 pounds in a month? A caloric deficit of 500 to 1,000 calories per day will help you lose between 4 and 8 pounds safely in a month. Don't try to lose more than 2 pounds a week, you're going to be in trouble. And it doesn't mean you're diabetic or in ketosis. It means you're probably going to be a little hungry, and you're probably going to overeat. So assuming you continue with the same rate of loss, you can expect to lose your 20 pounds in about 2.5 months. Now that's a long time, and let me tell you right now, we just sprang ahead. We lost an hour of sleep, which means spring is coming and swimsuit weather is not permanent. And if you want to safely lose 20 pounds, you better start today, because it's going to take you 2.5 months to lose the 20. You're not going to lose it in 2 weeks. At least not safely, and it's all going to come back. So that's my primer today on ketosis and cancer. Be careful out there. It's very dangerous. And so many people go on these diets on the recommendations of friends or family, or I know this guy who lost 30 pounds in Florida and he was on the ketosis diet, the diabetic diet. And you could have the same amazing results if you just eat cheese and hamburgers and steak all day, and you drink this diet tea at night. The whole world is going to be yours. Meanwhile, your ovarian cancer tumor is spreading. What's going on with Ethereum today? Well, let's check it out. It's been a rough week for Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're up just a smidge. And I've learned that this universal daytime, this day, UTC, begins for us at 7 p.m. at night. So you can see at 7 p.m. it usually dips at the start of the day. Things get low. So if you're going to buy NFTs and you're on the East Coast, start looking around 7 p.m. at night, because that's when you're going to find the best price, because that's when Ethereum and Bitcoin drop the most. And it's traditionally been around $3,000. And for a couple of weeks, it's been struggling to stay above $2,500. So it's a buyer's market out there. I want to say be careful, but then I want to say don't be careful. Go out there and buy till you can't buy anymore. Because maybe in a week or 2 or 3, you're going to be up. And this volatility is caused by the war in Ukraine. War against Ukraine, I guess you could say. How's our gas fee going for Ethereum, which you always have to figure into the price of anything you're buying because it's very expensive. Gas prices right now, $10. Very affordable. I have seen them as high as $80. So you're buying something for $200, and the gas fee is $80, and you have a heart attack. I don't have that much money in my account to pay the gas fee. But sometimes you stop and you wait 15 minutes or an hour or half an hour, then the gas fee is $2. So it pays to wait and have patience, which we know is not possible for many of us. And I'm looking at myself included. Remember how we talked about hidden things? OpenSea. Well, I've learned that people, if they are not verified on OpenSea, and they send you an NFT that you didn't ask for, it gets hidden by default on OpenSea. But if you have an NFT wallet, all this junk shows up there. And there's really no way to burn this without having to pay a gas fee to get rid of it. Excuse me. So we talked about this, the Valkyrie thing somebody sent me. Okay, not terrible. Somebody sent me the Ukraine flag thing. Okay. I understand why, because they have the Ukraine flag thing. I'm not into the 8 Club. But they follow you online, they see what Discord servers you're on, and then I guess they just massively do airdrops for free, try to convince you to buy something, because they call this an invitation. I don't want an NFT invitation in my account. I didn't ask for it. I don't want it. Now, here's something that I discovered. from what I do have collected is this. It's a new piece from Degenerate Regenerate. Okay, interesting piece. It's about not having to obey authority. And it's by Shepard Fairey, a 7,400 piece generative NFT art project, pulling from Fairey's 32-year stencil, illustration, and fine art archive. This collection layers iconic images chromatically to create new pieces of art. Okay, we know all that. Great. Properties, background, ideal power, 2% have this trait, star gear, 2% have this trait, white, 2% of this trait. That's fun, properties. But this is what I've never seen before, and this is Veris Art certified. I thought, what is this? So you click on it, and it takes you to this page, Veris Art page, certificate of authenticity. Now that's neat. Now NFTs are, when you purchase them, belong to you, but there are people who say, hey, you have that NFT. That's not an NFT, that's just an image you stole and you're pretending you own it. But with this verification, you can go online separate from, a marketplace like OpenSea, and it gives you all the information. Shepard Fairey, Degenerate Regenerate, number 5940, 2021, digital art. The size of the image is 1720 by 1448 and signed here by the creator. Blockchain registered. The issuer is Obey Giant and the creator is Shepard Fairey. And on Ethereum, you can view it there. All bunch of minted blockchains on Ethereum, contract address, the token ID, the owner. Transferred, created in the middle of December. I think it's a wonderful service. And if you're thinking about getting into NFT art, that's a wonderful service that a creator can add, a value-added service that a creator can add for a purchaser. I think it's absolutely lovely. Now it's time to take our first blood pressure break of the day. And if you've noticed, we have a new game you can play. And that game is this. Let's see, I should put this. If I look at the game. Oh, I guess it's okay. And you can play against tic-tac-toe. You can play against the computer. And if you want to play, you type !DB and a space, and then you pick the box you want to put your X on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you type in the number. So I would type !DB space and the numeral 3. Boom. Enter. And sometimes it takes a little time for it to register. And you have to wait where it says, it's your turn to play. Then you type it in there. And you can see if you can win against the computer at tic-tac-toe. It's a little something. If you're waiting for the stream to start, or the end of the stream, or now, or taking a break, and you want something to do, you now have something to do. I will be back in a moment. And we are back live on Boles TV, BOLES dot, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Here talking about all kinds of topics, including philosophy and life and the human condition and war and artwork and what it all means when we join together to discuss what's happening. Well, we'd love to talk about NFT art. And I'll put that on our little banner here. And then pin it as we go into our next story. NFTs don't work the way you might think they do. I don't know what that means, but here we go. We bust the biggest misconceptions about what minting actually means. This is from Wired. It's been impossible hearing about NFTs in recent months. Hype for the tokens, pitched as proof of ownership of a digital item, has reached a fever pitch, where billions and billions of dollars have poured into the market for them. To some, these non-fungible tokens are the hottest new collectible hobby. To others, a powerful investment tool. And still more, they're the future of the internet. We know what NFTs are. NFTs are not authoritative tokens of ownership. The most persistent, misleading claim about NFTs is that one that's closest to being true. Enthusiasts frequently claim that since NFTs are fundamentally unique and live on a trustless blockchain, this constitutes proof that you own a digital asset. There's only one token like this, and you have it in your crypto wallet, so that means it's yours. Well, the framing is misleading for a number of reasons. For starters, NFTs can only convey ownership, rather possession, but we'll come back to that, of the token itself. As software engineer Molly White explained to Wired, with NFTs, the thing you've bought does not tend to give you ownership of the underlying item, image, game asset, etc. IP, intellectual property, in any way you would normally transfer physical or digital art. Instead, NFTs typically contain links to an asset hosted elsewhere. The NFT doesn't convey ownership of the copyright, storage, or usage rights of the asset itself. When you buy an NFT, you've paid to have your wallet address etched into a database alongside a pointer to something. You really don't own anything at all. And that's true, but it's not really a problem. When you stream music, you pay for it. You don't own it. You might have a copy of it on your local computer, but you can't take that song and rewrite it or use its melody in something else you do. The same thing with movies. You go see a movie in a theater, you pay money, you don't own it. You stream it on your television, you pay money to Netflix, but you don't own it. It's the same thing. It's not a big deal. But I guess some people think that they do own it. Twitter recently started supporting NFT profile pictures, which are displayed in a unique hexagonal frame. But it currently accepts tokens only from the Ethereum blockchain. Having an NFT on the Flow or Tezos blockchains, both of which Rarible supports and which are often cheaper to mint right now, will not get you that hexagon on Twitter. Now, Twitter could change this in the future, and other platforms could choose to support the other blockchains, or possibly even create their own blockchain. But once again, this puts the power in the hands of centralized platforms to decide which chains are the real ones. Now, who can you trust when you're buying NFTs? Well, OpenSea has started verifying accounts and collections to try to combat the problem of fakery. But verification is solely up to OpenSea's discretion. The result is that any given NFT is no more authoritative proof of ownership of the digital item it's referencing than, say, a Twitter handle. Every Twitter username may be unique, and if you claim yours first, then it might suggest that you're the real person behind that username. But the 45th President of the United States still had real in his username because parody accounts claimed at Donald Trump first. Similar to OpenSea, Twitter's manual verification process is the only authoritative way to know which account belongs to the real person, but it's not a foolproof system. NFTs cannot let you take digital items between games or apps. NFTs can cost artists more money than they make. The buyer for the $69 million Beeple in March also owned 59% of B20 tokens. B20 tokens were initially sold to the public on January 23rd at 36 cents per token before hitting a high of $23, a 6,000% increase. Just a couple of days before the 2-week-long losing 69 million Beeple auction ended, and by the end of May, B2O is back down to trading for under $1. As of this writing, that token is trading for 50 cents. So there's a reason that Ethereum is the network of choice for NFTs because it is sort of reliable. And one Ethereum is, as we know right now, $2,500. And it's not going to be Bitcoin because Bitcoin is around 40 grand for one Bitcoin. So people can't pay one Bitcoin for an NFT. Most people can't. The time of writing the article, the average fee for an Ethereum transaction, that's the gas we talked about earlier, over a moving 30-day period was hovering in the area of $14 to $15. But individual transactions can and do spike so starkly by the hour that the same transaction can cost several times more just depending on the time of day or the day of the week the transaction goes through. And that gas problem leaves most artists who choose to get involved in NFTs with a complicated choice. You can either front a large amount of cash to mint your work as an NFT in the hopes that an audience will come along and buy enough to make the fees worth it, or you can pass along those not insignificant costs to the buyer, pricing out portions of their potential customers. In the meantime, they won't have a record of their NFTs on the blockchain at all. Well, that's why a lot of the creators mint, sell on OpenSea, because they don't charge a gas fee. They pay all the gas fees. So you can list anything for free. It doesn't cost you anything. And then the buyer pays like a 2% fee in the purchase to OpenSea to cover the gas costs. So that's not too bad. Now, there are artists like Sabat. If you buy an exclusive from him on his website, the way he entices you to do that is by saying, I will pay the gas fee for you if you buy directly from me, so I don't have to go through OpenSea. And some people don't want to do that because they think it's going to mess up their collection on OpenSea, but the OpenSea collections reads your digital wallet. So if you buy something from Sabat on his website, and you don't have to pay the gas fee, and you have it, and it's in your collection, it will appear on OpenSea in your collection. The devil is in the ever-changing details. That's very true. However, it's difficult to map the exact shape of how any specific NFT or crypto project can be misused or become an outright scam due to the highly specific details of how each project and blockchain works. As an example, when the U.S. Postal Service issued around 25,000 NFTs of its Day of the Dead inspired stamps, it used a more obscure mobile app platform, not based on Ethereum, but rather using the Ethereum-compatible Go chain. The app simply sells gems for $1 a piece, which are designed to be a user-friendly interface for underlying OMI tokens that users can then use to buy NFTs within the app. Each of the Day of the Dead NFTs sold for 6 gems each. Now the catch is that cashing out gems users earn from selling NFTs is currently in testing. After over a year of being unavailable entirely, users can buy the app's special currency to purchase NFTs, but after that, they can only be traded with other users of the app for more gems. That's a closed system. That's a really bad idea. That's the opposite of blockchain and Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's all open out there. Everyone can see and do business as they need. Despite users looking for ways to cash out of their gems for at least a year, the feature has not been added through the platform. Although the platform has attracted brand deals like Marvel, DC, and Star Trek at that time. Here's the Day of the Dead UPS license, United States Postal Service license VIVE to be Day of the Dead stamps into the world of digital gaming. Day of the Dead. So this is what they were selling. Day of the Dead stamps in 2021. Cute. I think it's interesting. But it's problematic trying to buy one. Six gems. It's cute. But how do you get it off that network and on your own network? That's going to be a problem. And here's more of the artwork that they promote. A little harder to see. And that leads us to our next question. How do you assess the value of an NFT? To assess the value of an NFT, consider looking at various factors like ownership, utility, rarity, and social proof. There is no rule book on how to assess an NFT valuation. That's why if you're going to collect NFT stuff, don't think of yourself as a collector. Or maybe you should think of yourself as a collector, not as a seller. You should only get involved with NFTs that you like. You should not get involved with NFTs if you think you're going to buy one and flip it for a profit. And you remember that Ukraine NFT I showed you earlier? I learned that people who were customers of that artist earned the right to mint one free Ukraine flag thing. It's over here, hang on. And because you were a loyal customer, so you could get this NFT and mint it. One per person, right? For free. Just to support Ukraine. And because you supported the artist would let you mint one of these for free. Okay, so what happened is people got them for free. And the idea is selling them for $200, so all that money goes to Ukraine support. So people minted their free Make Art Not War NFT and turned around and went right back on OpenSea and sold it for a low price, half the price of what it was actually charging for OpenSea. for what they were actually charging on the private website, which I think was, let's say, $200, and they were selling it online for $80. So they were making $80 off of something that they received for free that has the value of $200 in order to support Ukraine. And the artist was very upset. He said, look, please don't turn around and sell something that I gave you for free so you can make money off of artwork that is supposed to support Ukraine in their war against Russia. And it's called a secondary market. So when you resell the work, I get a cut of it, but 10%. So I get 10% of that $80, but when I sell it on my site, $200 goes right to Ukraine. So if you sell yours for $80, I get 10%. $8 comes back to me. I send that $8 to Ukraine, where I should be sending $200. It really is a fascinating world. And I think the artists learned, if you're going to do something for charity, don't give any of it away for free first, because people are going to take it and resell it. An artwork NFT might be great in demand for a certain amount of time with possible buyers. Assuming it is rare and expecting to derive value in the near future, then all of a sudden they may discover that the digital image is available on the internet for free, and there might be no buyers left for the NFT. Well, that's true. But if NFT is about associations and relationships, ownership, what some people call it, then it's okay. People will steal images all the time. They always have since the beginning of the internet. But at least now with an NFT, you can point to it and say, hey, that image belongs to me. It doesn't belong to these other people who are using it for their own private profit on their websites. Now, if you choose to go that way, you're going to have to do the MCA takedown notice and all that, but sometimes it's worth it. Rarity. Demand for an NFT is directly proportional to its perceived scarcity. But how can you tell how rare an NFT is? Unique artworks from renowned illustrators might make good examples of rare NFTs, as will the tokens minted by top-grade celebrities. Some rare game items can also be successfully culled for this category. Rarity factor bring in plenty of intrinsic value of these NFTs. So utility, tangibility, interoperability, social proof. That's probably the most interesting part of NFT, is the social proof associated with the project behind an NFT is one of the decisive factors that determine NFT's value. Checking their profiles on social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram can help one gauge their acceptability. If the numbers lie low, it indicates they haven't yet been able to create a solid ground for themselves. Liquidity premium. NFTs with high liquidity can carry a higher value as well. Secondary markets provide a venue to trade, immediately giving access to buyers. That's right. You could buy something today and sell it tomorrow and double the price and see if someone will buy. Traders prefer to put their money in NFT categories with a high trading volume, as more liquidity helps them take their profits with ease. A high liquid NFT is likely to retain its value even in the case if the associated platform is closed. Token economics stresses increasing engagement, and subsequently, liquidity will propel the NFT value proposition upwards. An inbuilt system that deprecates NFTs to being idle for too long and encourage competitive assets can help to build a robust market. As the NFT market grows, systems will come in place to support the liquidity of those assets. So there you go. It's a big, fascinating mess, and we're not done with it yet. But now it's time for our blood pressure break, and we'll be back in a moment. And we're back from break. I'm David Boles. This is Boles.tv, Boles.tv, Boles Television. Well, I realized during the break that I forgot to send out the promotional attitude for the link to today's show. So I thought, we have an hour left. I'll go type it up, send it. Took a little bit longer than I thought. I thought I could do it in 2 seconds, and it took me like 5 minutes. So I apologize if you're sitting here looking at my beautiful face, wondering, what is he doing? I guess I should have turned on the sound and just told you what I was doing and included you in the process. Well, we're going to continue our conversation about NFT art because it's really very interesting, and it's not over, and it's just getting started. And as you know, or even as you can tell, I am a NFT fan. I think it's very interesting. I think the blockchain's wonderful. I like the freedom of it. But there are dangers that we need to discuss and things we need to always keep in mind as we begin our collection journey together. NFT market bound for correction, crypto portfolio managers and collectors say. Just like any instruments in the market, I believe NFTs will see a correction. That means you're going to lose money. That's a little scary. OpenSea's trading volume has declined 36.9% in the past month, according to DApp Radar. Per Google Trends, global search entries for NFT have plummeted since February. Can you believe that people sold his NFT for $69 million? It's just shocking. And it makes you wonder what was really going on. Bullish signs carried into 2022 for NFTs as OpenSea notched a record single-day trading volume in January at 261 million of Ether, according to analytics. So this is Dune Analytics. Volume of USD. OpenSea value over time. You can see is very low here in 2021. Then it shoots up in September 2021, and then it gets way bigger than that. And now we've fallen off the face of the earth. These generated over $4 billion of sales in February, declining 28% in January. Here's the Google Trends. Where's my sound effect for that? Just like any instrument in the marketplace, NFTs will receive a correction. Potential signs of a downturn include Sotheby's CryptoPunk auction, where a Synodius co-signer withdrew a lot of CryptoPunks valued at $30 million minutes before the sale. That's interesting. Investors may be put off by reports of an SEC investigation homing in on fractional NFTs potentially violating securities laws. That means where people get together and they say, I want to buy a copy of the Constitution. There are only, let's say, 3 known in the world, and they're each $300 million. So I'm going to band together, make a DAO, and we're going to have 300 million people in our DAO, and we're each going to pay $1. So we can all say we own a part of the Constitution. That's my fractional percentages of NFTs. And does that violate securities law? How do you put that on your taxes? I own $1 of $300 million. NFT prices are a bit crazy. So we're in kind of a double bubble, a frothy stage of the market. NFTs are just disconnected from the bubble in the crypto markets. The number of NFTs will just continually increase. At some point, there's not going to be enough new people to be able to absorb the supply of art that's being offered. And Coinbase, which is a very big crypto Exchange is planning on, and it's already not even planned, it's already in effect, to have an NFT marketplace where you don't have to worry about, as I understand it, Ethereum. You can just go, and if you have Ethereum, you can buy something there. You can just use a regular old credit card if you want to buy your NFT art on Coinbase. And I think there are something like 3 million people on the waiting list, and they're not letting anybody in right now. But they've selected 50 artists to participate in the initial launch of the Coinbase NFT crypto extravaganza. Here is the CryptoPunk auction canceled after the seller withdrew, which is very interesting. I guess these are some of the CryptoPunks that were up for sale. Now, I don't understand the CryptoPunk, as you know if you're a loyal listener to this live stream. But what I didn't know is that they were really the first NFTs available. And they've been available for 5 years. And you really, there are none that you could just buy. You could try to persuade someone to sell one to you, but I don't believe there are any for sale on the open market, which I guess gives them value, but I don't find them very attractive. The NFTs were valued $20 to $30 million. The group of CryptoPunks was originally acquired in a single transaction. Sotheby's did not auction off the 104 CryptoPunks originally slated for Wednesday evening at a turn of events. The bid was withdrawn. That is very interesting. And I'm sure that Sotheby's is not happy about that, because their job is to get people to come and bid and buy. And when the seller says, I don't want to sell it anymore, that's a big stain on your reputation. Decided to hold. The withdrawal of the announcement was made in the crowded auction room roughly 23 minutes after bidding was scheduled to commence. However, onlookers were encouraged to enjoy the after-party with live music by DJ Scene Phrase. Nevermind decided to hold. That was February 23rd of this year. Two sources familiar with the matter told Blockworks that there were not enough bidders on the single lot auction. Sotheby's declined to comment on any logistics regarding the bidders. The group of CryptoPunks were originally acquired together in a single transaction. Released in 2017 by Larva Labs and currently have a floor price of $178,000 for one CryptoPunk. And here is the announcement. Decided to hold. People trying to figure out what happened, what's going on. Nobody's saying anything. Very interesting. I guess this is the original commercial. For the Sotheby's auction. It was very interesting. Well, that's interesting. And probably a little more than just a little bit dismaying. The 104 CryptoPunks I purchased in August of this year will be auctioned off, giving the crypto and broader NFT community the opportunity to attend and participate in the auction if you have $30 million. Why am I auctioning my CryptoPunks? My original thesis was simple. It's the global demand for scarce assets and an increasingly desired world. Punks will be one of the largest benefactors I still believe in. Since I swept the punks floor 6 months ago, NFTs as a category have exploded in popularity, with mainstream brands including Adidas and Nike collaborating with some of the most popular collections today, a trend I only expect to continue. However, punks will always be the original inspiration for the ERC 721 standard that set the stage for every blue chip collection raised since then. CryptoPunks have appeared previously in art auction venues, but never with the same weight, prominence, or attention as traditional contemporary pieces. This live single lot evening action represents a chance to showcase CryptoPunks on the same level as some of the most significant and high-profile sales of contemporary and modern art history. I simply could not pass up the opportunity to elevate CryptoPunks in the international art community. And with this sale, the CryptoPunks collection will be solidified in the broader art world. So these are the people who were commenting on the article. Very bizarre. But maybe, just maybe, this has something to do with that. March 12 announced CryptoPunks. Ethereum sales surge 1,200% after Bored Ape creators acquire the IP. Now you know, I believe, what happened. The original Gangsta Ethereum profile pictures collection has been soaring sales since Larva Labs announced the sale to Yuga Labs. So here are your CryptoPunks again. Popular Ethereum NFT collection CryptoPunks has seen a significant uptick in sales over the past day. Now that auction was canceled, February 24th, 23rd? Larva Labs announced that it sold the IP for CryptoPunks and MeBits to Yuga Labs, creators of the Bored Ape Yacht Club. So there is a massive, massive consolidation in NFT art that happened on March 12th. Larva Labs shocked the NFT world when it announced it would sell the IP for the popular CryptoPunks project to Yuga Labs, creators of the Bored Ape Yacht Club. And after news broke, CryptoPunks started selling like hotcakes. According to data from CryptoSlam, secondary market sales of the Ethereum NFT collections have totaled $18.8 million over the last 24 hours, marking a 1,200% increase over the previous 24-hour span. New buyers may be expecting additional value for the CryptoPunks project now that it will be under the command of Yuga Labs, which turned the Bored Ape Yacht Club into a sales juggernaut and a celebrity favorite in less than a year. And this is also Yuga Labs announced that it will grant IP rights for individual CryptoPunk images to their respective holders, much as it has for its own Bored Ape collections. That detail had been a point of contention for some CryptoPunk owners in the past, as Larva Labs had previously given unclear guidance about holders' ability to monetize their NFT images. So now that the sale has been made, and they say, look, when you buy a CryptoPunk, do whatever you want to with it. Resell it, make it into new artwork. The IP, the intellectual property, belongs to you. Well, that's new, and that makes people want to buy a CryptoPunk. because they have big ideas. And I think the person who had the big idea was the person who was going to sell all of his CryptoPunks, all 104 for $30 million to Sotheby's. He said, wait a minute. If I wait 3 weeks, I can sell each one of them individually and make a lot more money. Which is probably what I believe happened. The Bored Ape Yacht Club is also benefiting from the increased momentum with $7.3 million in NFT sales over the last day, up 307% from the previous 24-hour span. The floor price has jumped 12% and currently sits at 82 Ethereum. $212,000. One Bored Ape. Wow. We live in interesting times, and we live in an interesting world. So this is a very interesting article about Ukraine and Beijing, China. The Chinese government is scrubbing the country's media of sympathetic or accurate coverage of Ukraine and systematically amplifying pro-Putin talking points about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Why does this matter? China's wide use of its propaganda network and censorship muscle help insulate Beijing from a domestic backlash against support for the Putin. Remember when George Bush called him Pooty Poot and looked into his soul and said, oh, this is a good man, I know him. He's never been a good man. He's always been full of evil. And all of these butt-kissing American presidents sidling up to this terrorist has been grotesque. And two of the worst offenders are Pooty Poot, looking into his soul, Bush, and Trump. That's right. And then his son said last week, oh, no, Dad was just playing him and playing Kim Jong-il and playing all of the tyrants. He was pretending to like them. Not that he actually liked them. And they think that we are just so dumb and we're so stupid that we'll believe it. Helps insulate Beijing from a domestic backlash against its support for Putin and leaves its citizens with an airbrushed false version of events similar to what's seen in Putin's state-controlled Russia. Chinese media outlets were told to avoid posting anything unfavorable to Russia or pro-Western on their social media accounts, and to only use hashtags started by state Chinese media outlets. Online comments expressing sympathy for Ukraine have been deleted. Even the anti-war speech given by the Paralympic Committee president during the Paralympics opening ceremonies was censored in Chinese television broadcasts. But the Chinese government made a miscalculation in the early days of Russia's invasion. Initial state-backed narratives emphasized the unreliability of the West, with Chinese state media pushing the headline, Ukrainian president says the West has given up on Ukraine. Other Beijing-linked posts extended this narrative to Taiwan, drawing on Ukraine's plight to cast doubt on the future of the United States support for Taiwan. But all of that faded away after strong sanctions and a united front from European countries and NATO allies. Chinese state media released social media posts turned to blaming the U.S. for the war and spreading Russian government talking points. Then we talk about war and how AI and the future of war is coming next. Consider an alternative history of the war in Ukraine. Rather than relying on sporadic air cover, the Russian convoys travel under a blanket of cheap drones. The armed drones carry relatively simple artificial intelligence, AI, that can identify human forms and target them with missiles. The tactic claims many innocent civilians as the drones kill nearly anyone close enough to the convoys to threaten them with anti-tank weapons. While the Ukrainians attempt to respond to the setback with their own drones, they are overwhelmed by the more numerous Russian drones in that scenario. It is increasingly plausible that this scenario could be seen in the next major war. In fact, the future of AI in war is already here, even if it's not yet being employed in Ukraine. United States, China, Russia, Britain, Israel, Turkey, and all of them are aggressively designing AI-enabled weapons that can shoot to kill with no humans in the decision-making loop. These include fleets of ghost ships, land-based tanks and vehicles, AI-enabled guided missiles, and more prominently aircraft. Russia is even developing autonomous nuclear weapons. New intercontinental nuclear-armed, nuclear-powered undersea autonomous torpedo. In reality, autonomous weapons that kill without an active human decision are now hundreds of years old. Land and naval mines have been used since at least the 1700s. Missile defense systems, such as the Patriot and the Phalanx, can operate autonomously to attack enemy aircraft or surface vessels. Furthermore, sentry guns that automatically fire at targets in combat patrol zones have been deployed on armored vehicles. Why do governments love killer robots? The attraction of killer robots is clear. Use them to do the dirty work. And valuable soldiers do not have to die. Inexpensive pilots do not have to fly costly equipment. Robots don't have to go to the bathroom or take a blood pressure break. They don't need water. They don't miss a shot when they sneeze or if they shake. Robots make mistakes, but so do people. Protagonists of offensive AI assume that robot mistakes will be more predictable, with little regard to the increasing unpredictability of the behavior that arises from the emergent properties of complex systems. Finally, robots can be trained instantly, and replacing them is much faster and cheaper than replacing human combatants. And there you have it. This is the world in which we now spin, where the robots will do the fighting. Machines can do the work, as the old song goes. And now we take our final blood pressure break of the day, and we will return momentarily. And we are back on Boles.tv, BOLES.tv. I'm David Boles, live with you Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, as we try to figure out this wacky world in which we spin. It's been a very interesting show today. We talked about how the keto diet creates ovarian cancer tumors in mice, or at least helps them grow bigger than the ordinary SAD diet or even a high-fat diet. We talked about the war in Ukraine. We talked about NFTs going up and going down. And now it's that time of day. We're going to play our set. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, I have to play the introduction first. The Bobby Fischer introduction. That was weird. I'm not sure what it means, but it's okay. I've made it through the rain. And here we are, Chessable, where we are going to do our best to solve a 3-move endgame. This is a rook endgame where you die on the last rank. That is the title of the lesson. That does not mean that it's going to make any sense to us, because as we know, we have our cheers ready to go. Let's see if people are ready to cheer for us.
Yes!
All right, thank you very much. Because you never know what's going to happen when you get into these terrible situations. You keep hoping that the right thing will happen and everyone will win, but sometimes it just doesn't work. I appreciate the tentative applause. Now this is timed, so white to play. Let me see if I can make my board a little bit bigger. Resize the chessboard, make it bigger. Make it bigger. I'm running out of time. This is how I get into trouble. Okay. So, white to move. Well, if it's me, I would move the queen here. And I know it's not the right move. Of course, they want the rook move. So now they force me to make the rook move. And then they take, and then I move my queen here, back again. And then I have one more move to make, which is here to here. Now, I'm telling you, my idea would have worked just fine. Now, I know they like to put the king in check as often as possible in these puzzles, and my move set that up. But it didn't actually put the king in check. So my accuracy is 66%, which I accept. All right, we'll do another one. Now we're black. 3 moves, black. Put the king in peril in 3 moves. Can you do it, laddies? Well, I don't know if I give it a try. Oh, I forgot to cheer for myself. Thank you. Thank you. I did do well on that, I suppose. Better than usual if you're a fan of this terrible live stream when it comes to playing chess. Well, Davey. Well. Now, if it were me, I would move my rook over here. Line up, right? With the queen, and go slam. Slam it all the way home. But I know that's not what they want. They want the king in check somehow. So I would go down here and put the king, the queen, put the queen in check. I have a feeling that's what they want, so I'm going to try. Do I see? Yeah. Now I believe I go over here with the rook and the bango and get the king. At least that's what I'm thinking. But maybe not. See, because I have a good bishop here, actually, who is putting everything in jeopardy and in peril. So where can the king go? The only place the king can go is there, excuse me, which is good, because then my rook will then go all the way down. We'll try it. I'm running out of time. Yeah? Okay, so the king went there first. Okay, so I'm going to win this now, where this rook goes down here, plants a kiss on the king, and the king has nowhere to go, because the king cannot take my rook because it's protected by my bishop. Okay. So here we go. Boing. 100%. Thank you. It was a hard, long road, but I hauled it very well. Thank you. I appreciate you. Now we'll have one more, where I should stop while I'm ahead, but you know me. I'm a fatalist. All right, so pay attention now. Black to play. They want it to be a back rank check on the last rank. So how do we get there? They want the king in jeopardy right away, so I think it's got to be this move. And the king will take. And then what? The queen will move. Okay, that's got to be the first move. I'll try it. Yes. Okay, so the king did move. Now, move my queen all the way over here. Right. Puts the king in check. And the king can only move there. And then they have to figure out how to get there. Which will probably be this bishop here, which will attack on that. The king has nowhere to go. Okay, that's what we're doing. We're trying it now. Yes, yes. And now we move this here. Yes. Oh, now I don't like that. See, that's when you get a yellow box, that means you could do that if you wanted to, but why would you? And usually, I think it's a fine move. And they're saying it's a fine move, but they won't give me the win on the puzzle with it. They want me to do it again. They said that's one way to do it, but do it the right way, which I now assume means they want the queen here, putting the king in check, and mating him, which is fine, but my way was just as good. So why can't they have it be two ways to win? I don't know the answer. 100% 2 times in a row. Now I'm quitting Chessable because I am absolutely ahead. Where's my clapping? Thank you. Now it's time for the Chess.com puzzle of the day. And I don't know how to get the puzzle. I want this puzzle. Okay, March 14, that's today. Here's our hint. Sorting out the background noise. I don't even know what that means. Sorting out the background noise. And we are white to play. Okay. So, background noise. I don't know if it's their background noise or my background noise, but it's something that I have to figure out. So if it were me, I like this bishop going here, attacking that pawn, and that pawn would take, and my queen is here. But this queen is also here, which is not good. So that's not so good. I don't like that move. Is it a knight move? Let's see it. Knight moves here. Puts the king in check, which is very interesting. And the rook is... Oh, and it's a fork. So there's no danger, really. I like that a lot, actually. That's hard to get. But these puzzles tend to really, really like hard play and sacrificing pieces. But this was clearing the back rank or whatever it was. What's it called again? Sorting out the background noise. So if I take that rook, which is what I will do, that would clear some of the background noise, is my guess. I'll make the move. That's not right. Now that puts the king in check. And it's not the right move. This, I don't know. Let me try my original thought. No. Now these puzzles are supposed to be very easy early in the week. And Mondays early in the week. And get progressively harder throughout the week. And I've already stumbled twice. Now I can get a hint on which piece to move. And I think I will. Oh my god. Oh no, I hit it twice, so it told me the move. I hate when I don't like it to tell me the move. I like to figure out the move on my own. Okay, so we gotta move this. Okay. So I do that, and then the queen takes my knight. Meow. Well, now what do I do? Okay, now I take the queen, right? Gotta be. And that's the puzzle. See, that's what I mean. It's Monday. I don't know why that worked. See, these puzzles are hard because nothing's put in check. It's just these puzzles are make the right move. So nothing's finished. Nobody's in check. Nothing's really happened. It's just two moves. A pawn move and a rook move, and the puzzle's over. Well, that's okay. I will take the chair. Thank you. I did finish the puzzle. I didn't do well, but I finished the puzzle. Well, we've had a wonderful show today. Thank you so much for being here. We learned a lot, and we went many different places that we had no idea really where we were going. But we ended up in the right place in the end. I am here. I'm David Boles. I'm here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Jan Marie on the weekends, 11 a.m. If you want to reach us via email, you can write me, David, at boles.tv. Jana is Jana at boles.tv. On Twitter, you can super follow us now. Get one free critique a month on an aesthetic project. David Boles is the user. On Facebook, a regular old Boles. On Instagram, we're Boles Books. TikTok, we're Boles TV. And here's our Discord server if you're interested in hanging out there and joining us. Always happy to see you and say hello. So until tomorrow, I thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, a good evening, a nice nap, and may you awaken wherever you are with joy and delight in your soul. I'll see you tomorrow.